Welcome to a reboot of Between Sundays. In prior weeks, before the pandemic started, the Between Sundays was about what happened before and after. And since I added the daily prayers, I thought, what might be the purpose now of Between Sundays? And so, for a time, the reboot of Between Sundays is going to be looking at wisdom. Because often during these unsettling times, we need pieces of wisdom to help get us through. And what wisdom means is how are you applying knowledge in a good and productive way? You take knowledge and then the application of it, if it is good, if it's productive, if it's life-giving, then maybe right there, that is wisdom. And so we're going to delve into what is wisdom, how do we find wisdom for our own lives, how does it work? And so I'm going to go through the book of Ecclesiastes, which Ecclesiastes is all about wisdom. In fact, the entire Bible is a text, a book of profound wisdom. And so Ecclesiastes, some attribute it to the song, the King Solomon, but we really don't know exactly. It may have originated during that time, and we're going to get into that as we go through. These are going to be about 5 to 7 minute sessions once a week. And so today I've got for us just the beginning of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. The words of the teacher of the assembly, David's son, king in Jerusalem, perfectly pointless, says the teacher, perfectly pointless. Everything is perfectly pointless. It's that sense of where do we actually find meaning? What is the point of life? And have we ever delved into that of what is the point of any of this? What is the point of going to work, of going because I live and then I die? And so he's actually exploring really here, what is the meaning of life and everything that we choose to do in life? Verse 3, what do people gain from all the hard work that they work so hard at under the sun? A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth remains as it always has. The sun rises and the sun sets. It returns panting to the place where it dawns. The wind blows to the south, goes around to the north, around and around blows the wind. The wind returns to its rounds again. All streams flow to the sea, but the sea is never full. To the place where the rivers flow, there they continue to flow. It's right, even though our world may be in a mess, or our personal lives may be in a mess, or our personal lives are in states of joy, right? Sun comes up, the sun goes down, the wind continues to blow. There are some things that never change. So then how is our life a part of the things that never change? All words are tiring. No one is able to speak. The eye isn't satisfied with seeing. Neither is the ear filled up by hearing. Whatever has happened, that's what will happen again. Whatever has occurred, that's what will occur again. It's a sense that as our days go on, are they being satisfied? Are we finding meaning in what we're doing? And is it enough? Or is it just I get to hear this again. I don't really care. It doesn't really help me. Nothing does, because I'm not satisfied. So then what are the things that we do in the midst of the sun rising and setting, in the midst of the wind's going to continue to blow? What really is going to satisfy us? Continuing on, there's nothing new under the sun. People may say about something, look at this, it's new, but it is already around for ages before us. There's no remembrance of things in the past, nor of things to come in the future. Neither will there be any remembrance among those who come along in the future. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. Maybe we state things a little bit differently. Maybe we go about the world a little bit differently. But in one sense, nothing feels new. And so what is the wisdom that we apply? How do we understand meaning in our life? How do we gain meaning in the midst of being dissatisfied? And the sun is going to rise, the sun is going to set. So what's the point of any of it? And so I want us to take a moment and really think about what are those things that have meaning in our lives? What gives us a sense of fulfillment, of being satisfied? Is it particular relationships? Is it particular things that we do? How are we present in the moment with those things that we actually do find satisfaction with? I think about how this pandemic has made us begin to think about what we value and about where we find satisfaction, because the busyness that we have engaged in our lives and this we're always rushing, and we've packed our schedules so full that we don't have a moment to rest. And what was the point of any of that? Was it because we were running from something? Was it because that maybe we felt like if we would just do one more thing, that we would then be satisfied? And yet we weren't. And so during this time where we've all had to slow down, where our schedules have been cleared of certain things, maybe our schedules are more full because of other things, maybe because of work or learning how to work from home. But are there things that we have now find begin to satisfy us and fill us up on that day-to-day basis as the sun rises and sets, as the wind continues to blow? And how have we conveyed that to those around us? How have we conveyed that in the relationships that actually matter to us? Are we paying more attention to those? Are we being much more strategic about, you know what, I need to set aside time. I need to call. I need to talk to. What are the things that we find really are filling us up? And don't leave us with a feeling of being empty. Because how many of us have actually felt that feeling of, no matter what I do, I still feel empty, and my life isn't worth anything, and I can't accomplish anything, and I'm not getting anything done, no matter how many things we have filled our lives with. Because the writer of Ecclesiastes, whoever that might be, is trying to give us something about thinking through, how are we finding satisfaction in our lives? How are we filling them up so that we aren't left with just more emptiness and yet are just as busy, if not busier? How do we figure out how to find satisfaction while not running ourselves into the ground? And so we are going to delve into that over the next several weeks as we explore this book of Ecclesiastes, which is all about life, which is all about enriched life, which is all about finding satisfaction and understanding the difference between those things that truly fill us up and the things that just make us busy. My hope is that as we go through this study, that you will find something useful, good, and wise for your own life. Have a good week.